Alright, it seems that I'm live right now. That's great. So what I want to do is I show you the Addon. I show you the Addon, the Quixel Helper Addon. I'm here in Blender, and it's Blender 2.83, but it works in Blender 2.91 and 92 as well. So I installed the Quixel Helper Addon, and what it is for the Quixel Bridge. So if you have Quixel Bridge, then you will see on the left hand side, you see what you have purchased, and you see there your surfaces. So that's your materials. So I will click here one material, and then for example I click here dry rocky ground. But let me first check my Blender, what I have here. So I delete this kind of cube and I add a plane in the scene. I press S to scale, maybe 6 times. I press Ctrl A and then scale. Then in the render tab, or in this viewport shading, I click on material preview. If I now go to the Quixel Bridge application, then let's say I select, I like this snow. Let's check this one, dry rocky ground. Click on export, and then you see a notification here on the right top. It says export to Blender, export successfully. Then back in Blender, I go to my Quixel Helper Addon. I can see it here, QX over here in the M panel, QX. And oh yeah, I have to go to the properties panel first, to the material tab, and then I click on the material, and there you see the gravel ground material I just exported from Quixel Bridge. Now if I open another window or view or editor, and then I go to the shader editor, and this is what Quixel Bridge gives you. So it gives you a shader, and then it gives you a few materials, maps the normal map, and these two, this one is for ambient occlusion, and there's the albedo, and then you can mix a little bit of ambient occlusion. So that is what Quixel Bridge is doing. But then there's a lot of work to do. For example, if you have an object, it can be that you need to unwrap it first, and then you have to do your UV unwrapping, and then you have to add here some a texture coordinate, etc. So that's why there's a lot of work if you want, if you need, for example, 50 materials in your scene. So that's why I made this add-on, the Quixel Helper add-on, because actually the Quixel Bridge is awesome. Because if you click on this, you can see a preview here, and then if you click on this one, yeah, you can see you have a good material preview like that. So that's quite awesome, and you can select here even what colors for a ground. So a lot of filter options, and yeah, if we have that in Blender, that would be awesome. So yeah, I wanted to have that in Blender as well, but then yeah, every time that's a lot of work to set up. If you want to have triplanar mapping for every material, you need to go in the shader editor and then add some nodes and adjust them, etc. So that's why this Quixel Helper add-on. So all you have to do is I click on add box mapping, and you see it adds all these nodes into the shader editor, And now if I select the scale, I can scale it that way. Let's move this a little bit out of the way. And I can then also change the ambient occlusion. And often what I like is that I want to turn a little bit specular down. Now many would agree with me, but if it is soil and it is flat like that, then in that case I want to turn off the specularity, because it's a little bit annoying to see that kind of reflection for soil. So I want to turn that a little bit down, so I see a little bit more detail. So you see it better what box mapping or triplanar mapping is doing. So, and there is also something else in the Quixel Helper add-on. So I can add a cube, but this cube has the origin at the bottom. So that's pretty handy, because now I can, let's say I scale on the y-axis, I can do this. I scale on the x-axis, and then I can do that. And if I press S and then Z to scale on the z-axis, I can do that. I can grab on the y-axis, and if I go back to Quixel Bridge, then I go for brick, and then I look for a material that I like. For example, a rough brick wall, I think, or maybe this one, brick facade. So I click export, then you see this notification, export to Blender. It's exporting right now, and then we see it's successful. So I go back to Blender, and I select this wall over here, and then I go to the properties panel, and then I'm going to the material tab, and there I see the brick facade, the brick material. So this is how Quixel Bridge it gives to you. So it is then a shader and then texture, but it doesn't look well. So you can or do UV unwrapping and etc. at all kind of nodes. But if you just click on this button and the Quixel Helper add-on at box mapping, and you bump up a little bit down the scale, then you see it like this. So the mapping is you don't have to do much. You don't have to do UV unwrapping in this case, and you can adjust all the scaling if need. So I give you another example. So because with the wall you didn't see it that obvious what the benefit is of box mapping. So I add also a kind of a table, or a bench. So let's try to make a bench over here. A scale and a Z, scale on the y-axis, then scale on the x a little bit, apply the scale, go in edit mode, 3 for face select, and scale that a little bit down. Then in object mode, I move the bit to the wall, and then I press Shift D and then Y to copy this to the y-axis, and I scale it a little bit down so I get this, and I scale it on the y-axis like that. And if I now select this one and then that one, I press Shift Ctrl and then B, I do a difference, and then I have to move this a tiny bit down. Then let's go in front view, and then I press Shift and then X. For example, like this. So I select this bench, and then I go to the properties panel, to the modifier properties, and I apply that one. I select this bool, I don't need it anymore. And now go back in Quixel Bridge and let's go for concrete. I want to have a damaged concrete material, so I think I like this one. So I click on export, and on the right top you see export to Blender. It's going to export right now. So go back to Blender. I have this bench selected. In the properties panel I go to the material tab, and then I see there the industrial concrete floor, and you see that the bridge, Quixel Bridge, provides us this node setup. So normally there's a lot of work we need to do. For example, when you go in edit mode, select all, and then press U, and then Smart UV unwrap, and then we have to go to the UV editor. So that's a lot of work if you have more than 20-30 materials in the scene. So that's why I have this Quixel Helper add-on over here. So instead of doing all that, all you need to do is click on Add Box Mapping, and it adds these nodes here, and that is a triplanar mapping. So you can see what it does. If I bevel this a little bit with hardtops, I click on bevel. I do it a little bit exaggerated so you can see it better. So yeah, so a little bit exaggerated. So if we zoom in, you see it's seamless. It's seamless. And that's because this is a triplanar mapping, and that is because the blend modes are on like here. So, and then in the Quixel Helper add-on, you can adjust the scaling. So that works really great for me. So I don't need to do all that, and I think 89% of the cases it looks all good. Then in the Quixel Helper add-on, so we can do all that. We can adjust the ambient occlusion, mix a little bit in, or bump up the normal, but normally that's good. I like to bump up down, pull down the specularity a little bit. That's my thing. So, but there is more in the Quixel Helper add-on. You have also under camera, you can, so if I press 0 on the keypad now, you see my camera is here, that's the rectangle. If I don't press on lock view, then this happens. Then I move away from the camera. But if I press lock view, and now I can move the camera to the position I want to have. So that's handy because, yeah, I use that. You will use this lock to view a lot when setting up a scene. So normally you can see the setting over here. You need to go on view, and then you go to view, and then find this here. So that's quite a hassle. And now we have all these important settings together. And if I right click, shift and a right click on the bench and press depth of field, then it adds depth of field. Not very interesting at the moment. Maybe in another angle, or maybe an angle like that is more interesting. Like so. And then there's also color management. We use that a lot. Let's go to cycles. And the look, that is the contrast. And normally you want to set it up to medium, high contrast, of high contrast. So, and then I press unlock to view. And what I also like is here, this setting, passport 2 alpha. So now you can better see what you see in the camera. So doesn't look that nice yet. So that's also change the focal length, maybe unlock the view, and if we press render, we can render this image. And there is nothing to see. Why is that? Because we don't add yet any. We are in material preview, and we didn't add any Hdri. So let's add an Hdri. I go to my asset manager, and I have some Hdris over here. This is my favorite one. So if we do that, then we see there over that one. Then I adjust a little bit scale of the textures. I go back to my Quixel Helper add-on. I have this wall selected. Then I go to the material and I change the scale, maybe to that. And if we render it now, I render image. So you can go on and on like that. So it's much faster to set up materials and your camera, and you can also snap and add those primitives like what I did with the wall and the bench. Yeah, you can get this Quixel Helper add-on is available on the Blender market. It's available over there. Or if you look for other add-ons, I have also a website over here, blenderaddons.org. You can find a lot of add-ons, like paid add-ons, and these are all free add-ons. And you can search for add-ons on this website. So this website runs very well, so I decided why not also a website about tutorials. So that's why I decided to start another website about Blender tutorials and do the same. So then you can look for tutorials for beginners, for intermediate, for about Blender version, and you see your categories like that. So if you click on geometry nodes, very popular these days. I found some quite good tutorials, so I'm looking for the good ones where the audio is well recorded and the tutorial is structured, etc. So then I will add them. So if they don't have that, then I'm not adding them to this website. So these are hand-picked website tutorials. And then there is another website also, same style, but then this is more business for business to business. So yeah, what I hope is that the Blender community can do more with business, because all what they are talking about in the business world is about Adobe. So if you're looking for a job, they will ask you, the first thing they ask you is, are you familiar with the Adobe package? And they don't know anything about Blender. And this, while the open source software gets is more interesting for business nowadays. I see articles about that, so that's why I want to set that also up. So you have here the Blender tutorials website about Blender add-ons, and this is more pointed towards business. And then I discussed here the Quixel Helper add-on, and the Quixel Helper add-on is, if you have Quixel Bridge, you have here all your materials, and you see here the preview like that, and you can export that to Blender. So you go back in Blender, but Quixel Bridge is just providing you a few nodes, and if you have the Quixel Helper add-on, you can quickly add some nodes, and also useful. Often I need to click purge because I'm trying a lot of different materials, and then later I don't need them, and they are still in memory in Blender. So I think that was it. I discussed quite a lot of things. So yeah, if you are interested in the add-on, you can find it over here on this website. And if you want other add-ons, there are loads of other add-ons as well. I think that's it. Oh, I see Saraf says hi. I forgot to take a look here in the chat, so I will say hi as well. So Saraf, press emoticon. I did. I'm not streaming a lot, but I did. So next time I don't see any other questions or so, I believe. And then, yeah, I will see you next time and check how that goes. So I kind of like to stream, because that's a lot of preparation for making a video, and streaming is a bit faster. Alright, thanks for watching, and then I hope see you next time. Alright, see you.